Water World magazine, coming to you from the show floor of WEFTEC 11 in Los Angeles, California. Talking with us today is Ed Klinger with Bilco. Ed, thank you so much for being with us.
You're very welcome.
Tell us a little bit about Bilco.
Okay, so Bilco is a world-class manufacturer of hatches and doors, and they are iconic. They've been involved in the construction industry, in various types of infrastructure. And now what Bilco have done is they've introduced a new type of system to protect these hatches and these doors. So here's a typical hatch that you'll find installed in, let's say, a water treatment plant. And one might be concerned that someone breaches the hatch and gets inside or puts something inside. So we've developed an intrusion detection system which goes inside the hatch and monitors it and makes sure that no one is going inside that shouldn't be going inside or doing something that they shouldn't. So one of the things that you could do in this hatch is, for example, drill a hole or cut a hole in it, much like you see in that video over there. And you want to prevent that because someone, for example, might be trying to contaminate the water supply in there. So the intrusion detection system inside, which is wireless, is able to monitor that and make sure that it's able to detect that. So let's give you an example of how this works. So if I were to open up this hatch over here, then what's happened is this alarm system that you see over here has detected that. And you can see that it's detected it because over there, if you look at that orange light, that is a control panel which could be located up to 1 mile away from this particular hatch, which is connected into the SCADA system of the water company. So now they are alerted and know that someone has actually breached this hatch, and then they can respond in any way they wish. So one of the things that this does is detects the opening and closing of the hatch. The other thing that it does is, as shown in that video, is if someone's cutting or grinding into it, it has seismic sensors inside this box, and it's able to detect whether someone has actually cut a hole in it. But critically, it's able to also make sure that it wasn't a nuisance or an environmental alarm. Let's say like rain or hail. So it makes sure that you have a genuine alarm which is being sent. And that's very important because you don't want to send people out for the wrong reason to respond to these things. So the false alarm rate on the system is designed to be no more than 1 per year. The system was tested by the US government as well as the United Kingdom government and has been installed in thousands of locations in water treatment plants and other facilities. Now the other thing about the system, it's not only just for security, it can also help in process control. So one of the things that you might be concerned about is if there's, let's say, expensive equipment inside here, like a pump or instrumentation, then you might be concerned about flooding, saying, if there's flooding inside here, I want to know about it very early. So one of the things that we've put on here is the ability to put other sensors. That's why we call it a smart sensoring technology, because you can put other things that are relevant. So for example, here, these are called float sensors. And if you activate these, it again generates an alarm, and that means that there's now flooding inside here. Now the operational manager can see, oh, I have flooding over here, send someone there, and maybe plug up the leak or take some other sort of action. So now let's have a quick look at that controller over there, if we could. This controller over here is the system which is communicating with up to 254 of these hatches that could be out there. And it is essentially connected into the SCADA systems of the water companies, and here it's telling you what actually occurred on that particular hatch. So it tells you over here that the hatch was lifted, or the float alarm was activated, or a seismic sensor was activated, and that way they can then respond to that and determine whether they have a situation to deal with. And again, this communicates wirelessly. In order to ensure the security of the communication, it's an encrypted signal, 128-bit, which means that it's very difficult to jam such a signal. And this was mandated or required by the Department of Homeland Security, as well as the Environmental Protection Agency, because they're very keen to obviously make the system secure so that no one can tamper with it. So it comes with all of those pieces in there in order to give peace of mind to the water company.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking us around and giving us a look at it.
You're very welcome.
Great piece of technology. Thank you very much, Ed.
Okay, welcome.
From Los Angeles, California, I'm Angela Godwin.